Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third edition. Can you believe we made it through the third edition already?
I know.
Of
Crazy.
Entertainment Hour, since it's
Relaunch.
relaunch. It's been a couple of years. Usually Randy Cox, Dragon Viper, would be with us, but he's not tonight. Instead, we'll hold down the fort, or whatever you want to say, tent, whatever. It's, I'm James Gonzalez, of course. And then on the other side of this program, it is Crispy Bacon. How are you tonight, Chris?
Doing good. Not too bad. A lot of stuff going on, and it's good to just kind of unwind and do something different.
Speaking of something different, you see my shirt? I never wear a polo shirt. And all of a sudden, I'm like, yo, let's just wear a polo shirt just for the hell of it. Yeah, I look sort of decent, I guess. Usually I don't. I got my Pat McAfee shirt on and whatever, but it's too cold for that now.
Well, I think sometimes he does the muscle shirt.
That's why that's what I'm saying. Usually I got the tank top going, and you see the fat there, but not today. I just it's too cold for that. Even in California, it gets kind of cold. Anyway, be sure everyone to check out Coast to Coast Entertainment Network all through the week. There's so much programming to go with. All right, so let's run it down. Mondays is Between the Ropes, correct?
Tuesday. It's okay. It's okay.
Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday is Between the Ropes. You can get your wrestling fix. And believe me, the people on the show, they go into detail. They got the great graphics going on. There's always something going on, like a big big WrestleMania. Like, what did y'all talk about the last time on Between the Ropes?
Yeah, we talked about there's an event called Survivor Series. It's kind of a Thanksgiving tradition, but there's a couple big returns, and we covered that. So check that out.
All right, so Tuesday, I don't know if we have programming.
Besides Between the Ropes, I think.
I'm sorry. Monday.
Monday's Four Bros. Monday and Friday.
I should have just started there. Monday and Friday, Four Bros.
Yeah.
So that it's a variety show. You'll love it. You'll love the zany talk, the funny stories, the trivia at the end of the show. That's what I like about it mostly. Usually I'm asleep though when that comes on because I go to bed early to go to work. So I usually catch the replay. And believe it or not, Chris, before I would literally comment in thinking that the show was live.
A lot of people have done that, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, they're not live, dude. What am I doing? And anyway, that was a long... Because there would be a trivia question. I'd be like, oh, no, this is the answer. And no one would respond. So, we'll all read your comments, of course. Wednesday night is Sports Minute. Lately, it's been great with all of the pictures. So you can see what we're talking about. It's topics that I think will expand your sports mind if you like that. Tersday is Press Row with Callum McClurg, the PA announcer for so many San Diego sports teams out there in colleges. He's been in the sports business for more than 10 years, I believe now, and he knows his stuff, and he'll break down the media side of sports, and that's what I think everybody needs to do. Either hold people accountable or, rally to support someone. That whole Clarissa Thompson thing that happened a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
There were so many, so many opinions about that back and forth. But I'm pretty sure Callan got into that. Friday is Four Bros, like we mentioned, and of course, Entertainment Hour, what you're watching now. And then Saturday, I believe there's no
nothing
shows.
really-
Oh, Creeping It Real is on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Creeping It Real. Now that I don't know what I believe anymore. When I watch that show, I'm always looking over my shoulder sometimes.
There you go. I am too. Yeah.
The problem is, don't watch the show in the dark. That's where I go wrong.
You watch it in the dark.
That's the problem, because then
Yeah.
you never know what's behind you and you can't see it. Anyway, Sundays, morning tailgate. Me, Chris, Tim, and Big B will come in and we'll preview the upcoming NFL football games, recap the Thursday night game. So look for that around 8 a.m. Pacific time. I think 5 o'clock Italy time, wherever Tim is.
Yep.
So
No,
that's the whole programming for
right.
Coast to Coast Entertainment Network.
Isn't there one more coming up? A brand new show?
Oh, yes. So I was just gonna get to it. I was thinking Roundtable, but that will eventually come back. But tonight, the reason why we're doing this show an hour early, we want to get this show in called The Immaculate Grid. It's a sports show, and if you ever heard of The Immaculate Grid, just Google it and go right to it. If you really know your players, if you know your teams, it's a competition. It's a team competition. We're going to do it now, I think, every Friday and Saturday. Check with Callum McClurg on that. But check that out right after Entertainment Hour tonight. Not right after, but maybe half an hour after our show, we'll go into the Immaculate Grid, and that's where we have to put our, memory caps on, if there is such a thing. So I'm gonna really enjoy that, Chris, because last night we were just randomly doing it on a post show chat. Kicking it on Thursdays. Thursdays. Yeah, here we go. Thursdays. We're coming up with shows just like that. Thursdays, kicking it with Isaiah and Ace, or Ace and Isaiah. Yeah. I should probably say it that way. The zaniest of topics Ace comes up with.
Yeah, they're zany, but the answers are pretty out there too.
That's what I was going to say. Not everyone. But Isaiah has let's just say the unusual, the wild and wacky answers of that show. And then trivia, forget about it. So, yeah, there's your schedule again. We should really put this out here on our on the page, just the schedule. And I think we could read it off and plaster it on instead of me forgetting every show. Okay, let's get to some entertainment news. Now, Mark Cuban, we talked about him on Sports Minute, selling his majority share of the Dallas Mavericks, something close by you. Now, he came out the same day saying he is going to leave Shark Tank after this season coming up. So it'd be season number 16. Now, I didn't catch the show when it first came out, or all these years. I've seen some on repeat, I think on MSNBC, I want to say. I know my brother-in-law, shout out Kevin, was watching it one time at my parents' house, and I came over to watch, or I came in the living room and was like, what y'all watching? And he's like, Shark Tank. So all these people trying to get their businesses going and all that. So after a while, I started watching it, and lately I forgot it. But there are still new episodes coming out, going to be on ABC, I think it is. So I don't know if the show will continue without him. I think that's the biggest question. But businessman, billionaire, more billions than ever now. He's 65 years old, by the way. So he shared on the podcast that All the Smoke podcast, that's the one with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes on Showtime. I think Rachel Nichols is with that as well. That's usually a basketball podcast, but they had Cuban on there saying that his 16th season will be his last. He He's got one more year to go on that.
He's
He
also
first appeared. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say
Oh,
he's very tech-driven.
Dude, man, I was reading his Wikipedia page, which probably isn't the smartest thing, but it's the quickest thing to his career. I don't know. Again, I don't know what's real, what isn't, but he first appeared as a guest I saw on Shark Tank in season 2, and then joined full time in the 3rd season. I think they figured, hey, this guy knows a lot. He could flip things. He could sell things at the right time, like we've seen his business, now the Mavs, and then whatever else. Like you mentioned on Sports Minute, whatever he's going to do next will probably be a success, So even though the network hasn't officially confirmed his departure, he has said it himself. But he expressed gratitude, saying that, I love it because it sends a message that the American dream is alive and well. That's what he mentioned about Shark Tank. Because you've seen kids on there, you've seen, adults, you've seen old folks and try to promote these things. And, not all of it has been successful, but there's been few times where I've seen you Google after every Shark Tank, you Google that product that was bought by the sharks, basically. And you try to see how their business has gone. Now that's gone from cleaning supplies to, products and drinks and all that. So it's been amazing to see what Shark Tank has been. So what do you think about Mark Cuban leaving Shark Tank? And then do you think they'll continue with the show, and how many years it will go? Will it be as successful without Mark?
So I think that it could last, but I don't know. I don't know if it's based on one person per se. I only watch because of Mark Cuban, or I'm watched because of this person, but I think it can still survive. For how long? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, but we've seen, where the face of something, once that face leaves, it kind of dies after 1 or 2 years. I can think of The Office, just thinking about a show where once Steve Carell leaves, I want to say Michael Scott, but both did. But once he left, it seems like, well, man, the show's now. I seen it on the Rebound, The Office, but it just seemed like, okay, once he left,
it just
it's not as good anymore. You don't have that main character you can rely on, anything like that. Oh yeah, if we have any comments, go on and read them.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get to our second topic, and it's really a unfortunate one with Shannon Doherty. She announced that she has stage 4 breast cancer, but she's determined to keep living her life. She had a recent interview with People saying that the cancer has spread to her bones. She doesn't want to die. I'm not done. She said, I'm not done with living. I'm not done with loving. I'm not done with creating. I'm not done with hopefully changing things for the better. I'm not done, end quote. She mentioned this, and it's amazing to think she has had an 8-year journey with cancer. So it's amazing to think how she's gotten by. So she first revealed that her initial breast cancer diagnosis came in 2015, then underwent chemotherapy, and then she went to readmission in 2017. And by 2019, the cancer returned. She had stage 4 cancer in 2020, and it's just been back and forth ever since. So she's really battling. Of course, Shannon from Beverly Hills 90210 back in the 90s. Charmed, she was on the second part of that show. The rebirth of 90210 in the late 2000s, and I hate when I get to say that. It makes me feel old there, but she was on Little House of the Prairie, I guess, as a little girl. I don't remember her for that, and then she's been in countless other movies. I guess not popular ones, but if you know her, if you like her, you would see her on there. She's been on Dance with the Stars, but she's a very noble figure. Basically, anyone that's from the 90s would know her. Now, I didn't watch much of her stuff, but I know she's a figure out there in Hollywood. And Chris, you got any words about what Shannon's going through?
And I've had family who dealt with cancer, some with breast cancer, and it's one of those things where it's, it can, you can live a good life, but then other times it can just be full force, and you just don't want to lose hope in battling it. You want to keep positive, and I think she can. So I mean, she'll be around.
Yeah, that's the hope. But man, when you battle for so many years, for me, I've never heard anybody battle that long with cancer. I've never heard that before, and I don't know anyone personally that has dealt with it. So, we'll see how she does. I just want her to continue her life. She's 52 years of age, and hopefully she'll be around more. Let's get to some other Hollywood news, or entertainment news. Taylor Swift. Now, she's been successful pretty much all her career. I think never more than before with her Eras Tour concert movie that was on a $50 million budget. And it's basically a movie that, plays her songs at different concerts. It's not the same concert, I don't think. I think it goes on her tour and it gets one song from each, concert, each stop, I guess. But, I haven't seen it, but I have so many friends that like her. I mean, grown men that, will go watch her movie. And I'm like, okay, that's different, but, I don't hate it. But, dude, the movie has broke past $250 million in gross sales at the global box office. That was reported on Monday, according to multiple reports. It eclipsed that $15 million budget easily, making it, or it's nearing the title for the most successful concert film of all time. Thanksgiving, to put that out there, brought in $178.2 million just by itself for the Taylor Swift Eras movie here. Eras Tour movie. Yeah. It stands as the world's 19th highest grossing release of the year and the 11th biggest movie of the year in North America, surpassing, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones, which I think we'll get to later. But it's amazing to think. And then she'll take 57% of ticket sales from her concert film. Just think about that. And then she's made $305 million from the first few months of the actual concert tour. So it spanned from March to August, and it was 56 shows.
Yeah,
and isn't it
next year?
Yeah, that's the international one. But isn't it funny? It ended in August, and all of a sudden we see her at NFL games for her boyfriend Travis Kelce, and now, was it Kelce went to Argentina to go support her on his bye week?
Uh-huh.
Man, that's dedication. Anyway, I know Beyonce is gonna have one of these. Beyonce is gonna have one of these concert tours. I don't think it would be as successful.
And I think
Um,
you could have a movie out too.
yeah, it's gonna be, I think, about the same thing. I mean, since that strike was going on, I'm guessing, uh, film companies have tried, different ways to make up, lost money by this, and they
Mhm.
capitalized on, Taylor Swift, but I don't know about Beyonce. But what do you think about all this success from this movie for Taylor Swift? And then, do you think Beyonce can gross the same amount of money, or will it be tremendously less?
I think it'll be less. I mean, with Taylor Swift, she could probably end a lot of things that we're trying to end as a nation or as a country or world. But if your area is in a troubling situation, I think Taylor Swift's revenue can help out a bunch as far as tourism goes. Um, but it's going to be interesting if it can keep up.
Yeah, I'm just amazed because I'm trying to think of other concert movies that have happened, and I really can't right now. I should have looked it up, but
Let me see if I can't find it just for
I
you
should
know.
have it. But it's funny though because nobody has drawn like her. I mean, I know the Beatles have had some concert, tours out there. They've had two movies that were
Right.
huge, but nothing like this, where it's from the concert. Uh, but there's other groups out there. I'm kind of surprised the boy bands never did that from the '90s. I think that would have been pretty big for its time. Imagine if they did this with like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, or if uh, Britney Spears had something like this when she was very relevant, like they were. That would have been something.
Yeah.
So, success
So,
to her, I guess.
so I guess the most profitable, I'm thinking, well, maybe not. Uh, you got Woodstock
Oh,
in
duh. Okay,
1970.
so that was huge because not everybody could go to that. There wasn't access to that. It was just that um, scene from upstate New York, and it was
Yeah.
revolutionary. It was wild all at the same time. That really changed America. I mean, that late '60s part of time with Vietnam and all that, people were free. People were doing their own thing. It seemed like, and Woodstock was the epicenter for that.
Right. Let's see. You had Live at Pompeii in 72, showcasing Pink Floyd performances.
Okay,
Um,
that's one group I never really listened to.
let's see. In 2019, there was Homecoming, a film by Beyonce.
I totally missed that, man. But maybe
Justin
it's just the same thing, but they're doing it now.
Justin Timberlake had one
Oh wow, that must have been.
back in 2016.
Yeah, I must have missed all of these. Well, let's just say none of
Yeah.
them are going to compare to what
Oh no.
Taylor has done now. It's been really amazing. So let's get to our fun segment of. Well, the
Uh-huh.
rest are pretty much fun, but we either preview or recap a movie or a song or a video game we played or a TV series that we watched recently or that we're gonna watch. You got anything that you either watched recently that you can talk about or that you want to see?
Last TV show I really watched was The Amazing Race.
I've never seen that, but
You
I
should
get
go.
it.
I think it's on Prime or anything. I can't remember. I know it's CBS, but you can watch it other places. They went to Sweden this week, and Had to do a bunch of stuff.
Is it like the Real World mixed with Survivor, but you're in a
No,
urban decay?
no. Think of it like a scavenger hunt.
Ah, okay.
You're trying to find different clues. Uh, and you're bouncing from country to country or place to place,
Jeez.
doing different challenges and trying to find clues. And then at the end, there's like 10 or 11 uh, checkpoints or lanes in this, and it's a team of two, and you're trying not to get eliminated. The last team across the finish, or the first team across the finish line, gets $1 million
Before taxes. No.
before tax. But yeah.
I was thinking of that now. Whenever somebody wins something, like, oh yeah, you get it. That's a great round figure, but oh yeah, there's something coming.
So Christy Wilson said that she
Oh hell yeah,
nightmares. Yeah.
I love that show. I haven't seen. Okay, good. Thank you, Christy Wilson, because there's usually something on, or I have to go to bed early, or I'm doing a show on some network. When it's on, I think it's like 8:00 here on Fox Primetime.
Yeah.
I think it is, but it's usually on. I want to say Mondays, so I miss it.
Yeah.
But I do catch like the ones from previous years, and then you could parlay that with Hell's Kitchen.
I like that one sometimes. Yeah, I need to catch up, but yeah, I like that.
And I haven't seen any recent ones, but I remember all the old ones.
They've been doing new ones on Thursdays.
Thursdays, okay. Well,
it had to be delayed due to Thursday Night Football yesterday.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I'm either working or doing something else, so I got to catch up on that. Thank you, Chris and Christy, about that. You guys are coming up clutch with that because for some reason I just love those shows. And even though I work in like culinary, trying to be artful, but I don't know. I just love his like fiery passion, idiot sandwich thing, all of that stuff.
We should find we should do a top 10 list of Gordon Ramsay's memorable quotes or something.
I would love, yeah.
That are in reason, but yeah.
Yeah, set that up, dude. I'll be ready for that.
Yeah.
So what I've seen lately, and last Wednesday, I had a friend, Todd, recommend a movie, and I watched it. It was called Better Off Dead from 1985. It had John Cusack, and then it had a bunch of other 80s movies main characters. So it's kind of, all I can say is like, hey, it had, the guy from Revenge of the Nerds, the Booger, I want to say, Burger, I want to say, and then all of these 80s movies characters that were in like, funny movies or drama movies.
Right.
But it's a really, quirky, zany and offbeat movie. Basically, it's about I want to say a high school senior. He has all these crazy things happen to him. His family's crazy. His little brother, literally in the beginning of the movie, it's a breakfast scene, right? So the parents are at the breakfast table, and his little brother, you remember cereal boxes? How they used to have like coupons,
or you the top of it, like
or you write, like you mail in that part of your cardboard, and you get something.
Yeah, email or send in this address,
right? So he would get, he would cut all of these cereal boxes off and then put it back in the shelf. So anytime
wow.
anybody wanted cereal, it would just spill all over the place because the little brother would cut the coupon out. So there'd be cereal just falling all over the place in the beginning of the movie. And
Oh,
then
wow.
the little brother would be so high tech with things. So he would make all these like gadgets and everything. And then the bad part is,
Mhm.
funny part, he got one of those. He really pays attention. So there were these like back in the 80s, 90s, whatever it was, whenever it was, but you can make calls to talk to women. So he literally would do this, and they would. This one scene, he had all of them in his room just hanging out, and his little brother comes in off of a breakup. So you imagine the scene where the older brother comes in, and he sees little brother hanging out with all these women. So that makes the older brother much more depressed. But it was the slyness of the little brother. But anyway, it's a quirky scene. The older brother tries John Cusack. He tries to um, get this girl back he lost, and it's the guy that the girl's with is like like a jock in a way. He's the best skier in the town.
Oh, yeah.
Just a real I don't know, just a real pain to be around. And then there's this neighbor, I should say, yeah, neighbor that's a foreign exchange student, a woman, and they hook up or whatever. They get together, and it's just weird because she speaks French. She's from France, so she's a foreign exchange student, so she speaks French the whole time. And then all of a sudden, with him, she feels comfortable enough that she starts speaking English, and nobody knows it except him. And it's just the weirdest thing. They have a big ski race. John Cusack wins it and gets the girls, and it's just it's a funny ass movie. I never thought it would be funny. I usually don't watch stuff like that, but it's ranked 7 out of 10, so it did pretty well, I guess. And then as time goes by, I guess people enjoy that stuff. But that's what I saw, I think, the day before Thanksgiving. And, there's so many movies from the 80s like that where they're just out of nowhere and they're funny as hell, and you don't expect it like I did because I wasn't around. Or I've never seen it, or my brothers haven't seen it, but it's just funny to see. So Better Off Dead was a movie I saw from 1985 last week that really stuck in my head. So, okay, so as I said pre-show, there was a new topic that I wanted to put in.
Yeah.
And it's all about, music albums that you enjoy, that you remember, that you like. Now, I don't know if you can think of one right now. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Is it any music album that you really liked?
I'm trying to look back kind of in my head.
There's like this desert discs thing or desert album thing where if you're stranded on an album, or stranded on an island, what 3 albums would you bring with you? There's some like that too. That could help you and be like, okay, I have to have these 3. But if you can think of one,
but how would, if you're on an island? I don't know. Maybe
let's say they're in your bag, right? You have 3 in your bag, and they're just there.
But how would you play it?
That's the thing. That's just funny when that thing came out, the desert, island album thing. It was just like, hey, if you're stranded and you found a CD player, somehow it plugs in, and there's electricity on this island. And if that's your lifetime and you have 3 albums, I think Callum McClurg, he would enjoy this topic.
We can ask him, and
he knows a lot.
I would think I can't think of one, but I think the most iconic one would be the the Beatles where they're on that. I can't remember the name, but they're doing that crosswalk kind of thing.
Oh, Abbey Road. Yeah. That had a bunch of
That's the
hits on
most
there.
iconic
Yeah.
maybe cover.
I can't remember all the songs that were on there, but I know it had a lot of. The Beatles were just amazing with their hits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be one for you, and there's so many more. And then just because I found it out here a couple of weeks ago, it's not one of my favorites, but it's just something I found that I've had, and nobody really, listens to CDs anymore. It's all like on your phone, or if you have an iPod back in the day. Well, anyway, Google Dolls Greatest Hits. I don't know if you can see it. There it is.
Songs were good. At least one or two of their songs were, but
yeah. So this one is like the Greatest Hits Volume 1. So there's like Here Is Gone, Slide, Name, Broadway, Better Days, Black Balloon. But there's so many more, probably on Volume 2. But I only have Volume 1. I think old friend had this one, and I just kept it.
And I think weird thing is going back to Taylor Swift. I think she has a couple records out.
Oh, like so what happened with her? Yeah, what happened with her was like she was able to release new albums, but it was her songs from the past or her past albums, and but she re-sang them, and it doesn't sound the same. So that's why I don't like it, though. It's called Taylor's Version. So it's her albums from the past, but it's she re-recorded them. She re-sung them, and it doesn't sound as good as the old version.
Because I think there's some financial stuff going on with that, and all that. I can't remember the whole detail, but something about that.
Because I have a friend that tells me like, oh yeah, she's making money off of these new albums because it's just her. Yeah. It's not that evil record company that took all of her money from those albums. It's her thing. I'm like, dude, it's the same songs. And like I mentioned before, I think I don't like live concerts because I want to hear the songs like they were done in the studio.
In a recording studio.
Yeah. I don't want to hear like live versions because you'll have voices cracking, or you'll have like the crowd making too much noise, or just it's just a pet peeve of mine where I just don't like that.
I hear you.
So that's why I don't think I've ever been to like a big concert before. So yeah, but this is the one I could find. Hopefully I'll find some more. The Google Dolls, I guess you could compare them with Matchbox 20 back in the day.
Matchbox is good. My mom used to like them, and I kind of grown into it, and And
it's maybe It might be interesting to note those two groups, and especially this one, Google Dolls. They did mostly when they first started. They were like metal.
Huh.
They were like hard rock and metal and all that. And they softened up to be soft rock, legends.
Yeah.
Where you hear them all the time, at restaurants or malls. It's like safe rock music to listen to. It's just funny how they started and how they went through the line and how they are now. So there's my cringe moment of the week there. Anyway, so let's get to some new movies or shows coming out. Let's go to the ones I had from Collider.com here. So new movies coming out streaming this week. We'll do theaters after this. Let's go with what? American Symphony. This is a Netflix documentary about John Basti. He is a he's a person. I know this, but he's formerly of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, So I'm guessing he's a comedian, and they're going through his life and his wife going through cancer treatment as he works on a symphony. So he's a compositionist, whatever they call it. He leads the orchestra. Let's just say that. But we were talking about, cancer someone going through cancer with Shannon Doherty. Well, here's another example here. It is one of the most somber films hitting the streaming platform this week. So if you need some motivation, something like that, do that. So I was talking about like teen comedies. MGM Plus. It used to be something else back in the day, but there's this movie called Bottoms out. Bottoms. It is one of the most absurd teen comedies in years. So if you if you like teen movies from back then, there's a slice of what teens are going through now, I guess, which who knows what that is.
I guess that would be interesting in a way, because your life growing up as a teen will be and probably is different than what they're going through now.
Hell yeah. So this is basically what the title is reading. It's saying 2 unpopular queer high school students start a fight club to have XEX before graduation. Yeah.
Okay.
Things are way different from when we went to high school.
I don't need to see the movie now. I think I'm good.
Yeah, it's just funny though when you think if you're a parent out there, you might secretly watch this to see what your kids are doing.
Well, it's kind of like that show. I don't know if they're still doing it, but like Teen Mom and that kind of thing.
Yeah, stupid me. I used to watch that crap. I don't know why I did, but I guess I always thought I was going to be a young dad for some reason. But I used to watch Teen Mom and all that just to see how miserable everyone is. Maybe they played it all for the cameras, but God, it was just the wrong. It's like all those moms just were unfit, or
right.
They were just horrible people. I don't know. It wasn't real to me. Let's just say that. That's what I felt like. It wasn't real to me. All right. So let's get to the next one on Prime Video. Now, this one I've seen the trailer for, and I might watch this. It's called Candy Cane Lane. Eddie Murphy is back with this movie here, a holiday film. Let's see. He plays a man that sets out to win his neighborhood decoration contest, and he comes in contact accidentally with an elf who brings the 12 days of Christmas to life. But it's it's sort of a woman who's a witch, I guess, who tries to destroy destroys things. And it was a Jillian Bell. You know her from Workaholics. She's been in other, like funny, stupid films. She's in a lot of those, but she's the elf that tries to ruin stuff, basically. Maybe Tracy Ellis Ross is also in that movie. Nick Offerman, you may know. Chris Redd, DC Young Fly. One of my favorites, Angelica Johnson Reyes. She's a comedian. She, I think, just had a baby. I think I'm gonna watch this maybe with folks around, because I might turn it off if I'm watching it by myself. Anyway, let's go to another streaming release. The Exorcist. Believer. Exorcist. Believer. It's from Universal Pictures. It's a soulless horror sequel that lacks scares, according to this streaming site.
That's scary to me.
Yeah. The greatest curse. It was Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess in the first one they only had one child that was possessed, so to speak, and now they got two.
Exorcist. Yeah. They're saying here that the debut of the first one did not do well in the box office. It was a planned trilogy, but it might not even make it to the third. But
Then why make another?
just
From
to
all
finish the
this.
story out, I would say. But it's basically when two little girls disappear into the woods and return 3 days with no memory of what happened to them. The father of one
Right.
girl seeks out Chris McNeil, who's been forever altered by what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. So Leslie Odom Jr. is in that. So check that out if you like scary movies. Then this one intrigues me a little bit on Netflix. It's called Family Switch. Jennifer Gardner leads this movie, I want to say. If you've seen Freaky Friday, it's basically the whole family being
Yes.
swapped. Have you heard of this?
Did they make two of Freaky Friday? Like
Yeah,
two
there was
versions?
there's one. Yeah, because I've seen the original. I can't remember with who was that one, but the Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. Those are like my two favorite. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say here, but I really like both of them. Ed Helms is also in this. Rita Moreno is also in this, and then of course Jennifer Gardner. It looks just like a crazy, crazy. I was gonna say one of my favorite shows was what do you call that? Wife Swap or what was the
Oh
other
yeah.
one? Remember, it was like on like where the family would switch or the wife swap would switch. I always liked those, so this is what this
Yeah.
reminds me of. Everybody knows, of course,
That was
about Five
that,
Nights at Freddy's.
yeah. But that was always interesting, those kind of shows, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
a good person with Morgan Freeman, Molly Shannon, and Zach Braff. It is a drama movie. I might watch that because Morgan Freeman, Molly Shannon. Those are two of my favorite people of all time. I would say The Holdovers is a film coming out. It's a holiday movie.
It
Really
sounds
good
like
family movie.
that. It sounds like that commercial.
The Holdover.
Yeah, remember they're old school. They had the landline and the dictionary. I'll find it.
I remember The Hangover, but that was a movie.
Right.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What's his name is still going here. Harrison Ford. Antonio Banderas is also in this as well. So those are just a couple of things that I've seen that will come out streaming wise. Any of these sound good to you, or you might watch? I mentioned the ones I would watch.
I would say the last one you read off.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
If you've seen the other ones, you try
It's
to
been a
relate
while,
it.
but yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen any of them, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever. No, I think I went on the ride at Disneyland. All right, so let's get to some new movies in theaters really quick. This is from Fandango.
Uh-huh.
So Disney's Wish, I've seen that a lot lately. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of something. Let me put that on here. The Ballad of Songbirds and why isn't this saying the whole thing? The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Okay, that's what it is. I think basically it's. I'm gonna just guess. It's like when they did Star Wars lately, where they've gone back in the past and they related
Yeah.
to the characters when they were younger. I think that's probably what
Yeah.
it is with the Hunger Games. Trolls band together. If you had got kids, you probably like that. Gonzaga, Godzilla -1. So Godzilla has a comeback here. I don't think I would have never seen that happening. But I've seen the one from '98. I still like that one over all the Godzillas with Matthew Broderick. Also, the movie Napoleon. So this one's interesting because, oh God, who that main guy in it? It's 2 hours and 38 minutes. Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon, so you know you're getting a good movie with his style of acting. He's a really good one, so I might be able to watch that. The Shift, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. That's the one we were talking about. Silent Night is a action film, and The Marvels, where it's the women of the, Captain America, among others.
Right.
There, probably won't be watching that. Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, that's one that is after Black
like a
Friday
scary
riot.
movie, right?
Yeah, after Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. Patrick Dempsey is the sheriff in this. I would have never put those two, Thanksgiving and tragedy and Black Friday all together. That's just wild to me. Let's see some other ones that. Oh God, it all switched on me. Okay, there was okay, one that might be up my alley. How the Gringos Stole Christmas. It has George Lopez. If you're into his line of movies and his line of comedy, I think that'd be right up your alley. Or, people's alleys there. They've he had a great show back in the day, George Lopez show. I always enjoyed watching that. There was one movie I wanted to mention as well. Next Goal Wins. Now we've seen
That looks good.
Yeah,
That
we've seen
looks
commercials
good.
of that. Let's see. Michael Fassbender, I guess, is the coach, and he goes to Samoa, and he builds these guys there as a soccer team, and they're known for like rugby and football, but not soccer. You know what it reminds me of, Chris? You know what it reminds me of like Cool Runnings. Have you ever seen that movie with
Cool
John
Runnings.
Candy? Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
he goes to Jamaica. Yeah, and they learn how to bobsled. Or that Kevin Bacon movie where he goes to. I'll just be safe here and say he goes to Africa, and he, sees a basketball player and he grooms him to try to bring him back to play for his college. That's what it reminds me of. It seems like, I don't know, Chris, does it seem to you that a lot of movies are just being redone, but in its own way, but it has an old feel of a movie that's been done before?
Yeah, and I can't remember the term of that, like the terminology, but yeah, I've seen
remake, reboot.
Right.
Reboot, I think, is what I'd be getting at.
So Christy is saying that her husband wants to see Candy Cane Land.
Yeah, it seems interesting. If you don't mind, like, movies that are funny, but it's like I don't want to. I love Jillian Bell and all that, but she does those movies where it's just like stupid funny, and I've lost my sense of. Maybe I've lost my sense of humor. But
she's also saying the first Exorcist movie she saw that many years ago. Haven't seen it.
I still haven't seen one.
I haven't either, but it looks really, really scary.
I know everybody talks about it. So any of those movies, if you were going to the theaters, any of them you would want to see?
I would think the Hunger Games. I haven't seen all of the Hunger Games. I saw like maybe the first one or two, and then I just keep telling myself I need to watch the others and never have. I need to catch up, maybe start from the beginning. But probably the Hunger
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah,
What about you?
I've never seen any of them. I think I saw like the first 15 minutes of one, then I fell asleep and I just left this family's house or something from what I remember. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the ones that I was looking at, Napoleon. I really want to see that. I'm really a history buff, and I like movies from the past, like talking about the past or set in the past.
Right.
Like I said, I'd probably watch. What was the one you were just talking about with Eddie Murphy? Damn it. What was it called again? No, I'm not gonna say
Callan has a comment.
Callan. Oh, that must have been something Isaiah said, not me. If
Yeah.
you could believe. Oh, the Gringo Who Stole Christmas. Maybe that the what do you call it? That soccer movie with the Samoans. I'll probably win. Next goal
last,
wins.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah.
last match. But, yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
You're talking about reboots and remakes.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a Mighty Duck kind of feel, maybe.
Yeah. It's always like, it's funny. I think it's from Disney as well, so that makes sense.
I think so. I'll look that up. But I think.
But there's so many movies that like will take a ragtag group of like kids that don't play a sport, and somehow one person transform them to all being like professional players at that sport all of a sudden after months of training and all that. It feels like we've seen this plot everywhere.
A little
Actually,
bit, yeah.
in the next segment we have one of my movies is just like that. In the next segment we have, so this is where it gets fun. And if everybody else out there, we're going to do a top 10 list of our favorite sports movies. I wasn't sure to have Dragon Viper to have this topic on this show, but on a show he would be on. But I guess he had seen enough movies to do it. So maybe we'll have a pop quiz for him on the next show he's on. And let's see if he could do it from the dome, straight from the dome. Like, hey, what's your top 10 sports movies? So I don't. Yeah, it should be. Chris, so do you have your list ready?
I do. No particular order. I guess you can say this is a sports movie. Karate Kid.
Yeah,
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that okay? You consider that martial arts, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
So remember that was number 5 on our sports minute list of like the most difficult sports to do or play.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely counts.
Field of Dreams.
Oh my god, I didn't even put that on mine. Yeah.
Friday Night Lights.
I have that one. Yep.
Blindside.
Okay. I really enjoyed that. The thing now, Chris, you hear about the story like, hey, that might not be real and they used me and all that. Right. That kind of took away from that movie, if it's true or not.
We talked about earlier, or brought it up kind of, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Hockey. Let's see. We'll go Cool Runnings.
I didn't even have that in mind. I love that movie. My brother loves that movie.
Rocky.
He loves all those movies. Yep.
Remember the Titans.
That's my number 1.
Ooh. We'll go Rudy. Yeah, I mean, it's there it's not on my list, but
what hurts is like the actual film of it, where I don't know if he actually played or not in real life. So that takes away from all of that, but it's a great ending. Great soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some again. I probably have what 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Oh, Draft Day was good. I thought.
Yeah, I finally saw that. I think in 2020, and it didn't do well for like non-sports people because
Yeah,
of the process. I think
complex.
of the whole drafting scenarios and all that. But if you're a real fan of the sport and of the NFL, you really enjoyed it because it went behind the scenes of what might be a boring job in the NFL, but man, it's the most toxic,
Complex.
it's the most hard working job being a GM.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Even if you're not a sports fan, this is my thought of it. Even if you're not a sports fan, I think it's cool just to see the behind the scenes of
Hell yeah.
what goes on.
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed it. And you just know you could do a sequel because the Cleveland Browns will be high in the draft, in the upcoming years. You could
or you can
do,
just rewatch it.
yeah, you could have a trilogy. You could have a whole series.
Okay. What's yours top 10 or top
All
list?
right. So my first one, it's not in order, but my number one is Remember the Titans. I can remember in middle school watching that, and I could not think of anything else. Like I couldn't focus in class. I couldn't focus like in anything else except that movie. That's how
You're singing.
inspired. That's how
You're
much of
singing that
a.
one song.
Oh, I know Mountain High enough, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. That whole soundtrack of that movie
Uh-huh.
is amazing. Like I grew up with oldies music, so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is right up my alley. And then the whole story about it all, unsegregating, the kids, make the busing and all that, putting them in the same school, and then putting them on the same football team. Denzel with the coach Bill Pullman, I forget his name, but putting that whole dynamic together.
Wanted to go through a brick wall.
Hell yeah, for both of them in their own little way. Just the whole dynamic of that movie was so amazing, and it's something that could be used now when you see the state of this country.
A lot of these movies could be used now, I think.
No doubt about it, because there was no. I don't know what it is now, but there's just so much divide. Maybe it's social media, and of course we didn't have that back in 2000 and 2001. But I had to believe it brought people together, though.
I think we had it back then. We just didn't know how to use it, when to use it. But I don't know.
No, we just talked to each other. That was it. That was actually it.
Yeah.
We either talked about it or we fought about it. But that whole movie just broke barriers in my mind. And also having the quarterback coming out from California, like literally coming out, and nobody knew it at first.
Right.
And then everybody was like shocked that he was out. And that was a thing that was really hidden. But yeah, he was gay. It was like, and they kind of hid that in the movie. And I know like certain networks wouldn't show that part,
right,
in the locker room, but never think about it. But that movie, racially, and then in the gay world, that really broke some barriers. I really enjoyed that movie. Personally, Angels in the Outfield it's a horrible movie that I could see now. But for me as a kid, the Angels really being bad and how they are now, it's like, yeah, I can relate to this. And when I'm on Halos in the Infield, that's a group that I work with, and we cover the Angels now. We use quotes, certain scenes from the movie.
To reference the team or something.
Yeah, to realize how we're feeling about the team now. So
Yeah.
this movie has been very good to me for so long. Money.
That's sad, but I get it.
Yeah, it just helps, cope with the losing. Okay, Moneyball definitely is one of my favorites. I remember watching this movie when it first came out in the theaters with all these baseball people.
Right.
Like, they really enjoyed the process. Like you mentioned, draft day. Well, you had that times, infinity with Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill playing Paul. DePodesta. Well, he didn't want his real name in the movie, but I really loved, on the field and off the field, you got to see Brad Pitt, Billy Bean, the character, his life really, outside and inside of the work, and how he related to the team. How he shut down the locker room after a loss. He didn't want to hear music. He didn't want to hear fun. I don't know if that actually happened, but it's a great message. Like, we shouldn't be partying after we lose. So I enjoyed the realness of it and the accuracy of it, because the uniforms are right for like the Royals in that movie. They actually played at the Coliseum. They actually had the scenes at the Coliseum. I can think of Angels in the Outfield. That movie was shot at the Oakland Coliseum, but they played in Anaheim. So I can still remember that, difference of the movies, I guess. Okay, my other one is Wildcats. This is a movie from, I want to say, 1986. It's with Goldie Hawn, Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson. Of course, they would come out years later with White Man Can't Jump. And I think it was brought on because of this movie. Anyway, Goldie Hawn, she's going through a divorce with her husband, and she has 2 daughters. So there's a custody battle going on. But she becomes the high school football coach of a Chicago inner city school that's just really, undisciplined and all that. She gets them on the right track and, leads them to the championship or whatever. It's a funny ass movie. Great soundtrack with LL Cool J. Just really, it's
LL
really
Cool J
cool.
is not bad at times.
Yeah, and then you can think of him in Any Given Sunday. I really like that movie. Just the realness of that movie with Cameron Diaz being the owner, the owner's daughter. No, she is the owner. Al Pacino being the old coach. You have Dennis Quaid and Jamie Foxx being the quarterbacks. LL Cool J being the running back. And really on set in real life, they really beefed. Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J. Like, there was a punch that went wrong and they fought. That's a whole thing. But that's one of my other favorite movies. Eddie. I don't know if you know this movie, but it's Whoopi Goldberg. I think it's from 95 or 96. She and this, okay, it's supposed to be in New York at the Madison Square Garden, but it was filmed at the Charlotte Coliseum. I don't know why I know this, but because I could tell the arena. It's not the Madison Square Garden, but anyway, she's a widower, excuse me, widow of a New York policeman who coached basketball and all that. So she loved basketball. She coaches basketball along with her job. She has season tickets to the New York Knicks, and she sits away at the top, but the place is so empty that everybody can hear her yell, and she really cares about the New York Knicks. And it's just a really bad team at this point. Like, the Knicks are better now, but imagine them like 10 times worse. And there's all these egos on the team and bad players. She somehow becomes the honorary coach, and they have her come down from all the way up top, and she gets to sit on the bench with the coach. And there's a new owner from, I want to say, Texas that comes in, and the cowboy that like totally changes everything around. and hates the coach and makes her the head coach. Imagine this. At that time, a woman as a head coach. It blew everybody's mind. Not many people watched this movie, but for some reason I really loved it. Because it had so many NBA players in it too. It was like cameos of real NBA players. So that's why I also liked it too. There was, it was authentic in a way. But she leads the Knicks from being bad to, making the playoffs. It has Marv Albert in it, Walt Frazier, a bunch of other NBA players at the time. But it's just a funny story, but it's one that, possibly could happen. I always advocate for a woman to be an NBA head coach, and I think one day we'll get there. But it's just for me, it's a funny movie because you follow a team like on a road trip and all the funny things that happen. She goes into the men's locker room and starts laughing because everybody's small.
Right.
So it's just court. It didn't do well in the movie theaters like so many other Whoopi movies in the 90s, but for some reason I just really enjoyed it. All three major leagues. I love the first one, love the second one. The third one nobody really likes, but I do. When they went to the minor leagues, I just enjoy all three. I mean, all three. No, okay. The first two have so many quotable quotes in there. Major League 3 and the minors, it has some quotes in there, but it's just a funny movie to me. The Big Green was the one I was telling you about. It's sort of like Next Goal Wins.
Okay.
But this has Steve Guttenberg and I forget some woman from, I want to say Europe or Australia. Well, anyway, she becomes this PE teacher of this small Texas town, and she teaches them soccer. And then there's this one Mexican kid that's really good, that stands out among all these little children. Yeah. And they get to compete in like the AYSO, like soccer, that big sport, big competition. And they somehow win their championship and all that. It's just a really funny ass movie. And then Steve Guttenberg is the sheriff of the town, and they coach together, whatever. Just a great Disney movie from the 90s. I'll always love that movie. The Replacements, of course, that movie from the year 2000. It basically is the 1987 NFL strike scenario where the Washington Sentinels players go on strike. So the Misfits come in and they play on the team. Gene Hackman is the coach. Keanu Reeves is the quarterback, Shane Falco, and there's all these other characters on the team, like Orlando Jones is, what's his name? Orlando Frank? Oh, no, not Orlando. Something Franklin, and he's the wide receiver. He uses so much stickum on the ball to catch the ball. So there's all these little quirks from different movies that they have in this movie, and you can see it on CMT. Like it's on, I think, pretty much every damn week. But it's always been a funny movie to me, just the way that this team of misfits coming together to have success. It seems like a theme that we have. Of course, you talked about Friday Night Lights. I love the realness of that movie. When I saw that back in, 03 or 04, I really enjoyed that movie. It was all about that team from 1989, the Permian High School, I want to say, the Panthers. Based on a story or based on a book or whatever.
Yeah.
I really, really like that movie and the realness on and off the field with Billy Bob Thornton being the head coach. And then my last one would be Blue Chips. I don't know if you ever heard of this, but it had Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Cabra Chaney, Bobby Knight, the late great Bobby Knight. Nick Nolte was this coach of this Western University of college basketball, and he has to deal with the boosters paying the players, and he doesn't want to get involved with that, but he eventually spills it out at a press conference. But it's basically what's legal now in college sports, what is going on in this movie, where players get paid to play and
like
they're not
the
supposed
NAL
to. But no,
Or the
this was way
NIL.
before the NILs. This is like when
Right.
players were getting paid under the table and they got found
Okay.
out. You know, it's a really great movie if you want to see how things were before in college sports. So I really enjoyed that one. So those are like my top 10 or more.
I like
All right.
that, yeah.
Let's get to some trivia questions. We'll get out of here.
Okay.
You find any questions for me?
I did. Let me
We'll go
get
back
them
and
up.
forth.
Oh,
We'll
you
go
got
like
some
the
too?
yeah. We'll go like the best of
Okay.
5. So I have like movie and I have TV trivia questions.
Okay.
Which one would you want?
We'll go TV.
All right, because I found 2 of them, like the one list I have, and then I figured we haven't done the
Okay.
TV trivia. TV, what's it called? The TV show quizzes.
No, we
Because
haven't. Yeah.
I saw this, I was like, yeah, maybe you like it.
All right. You want me to go first, or you go first?
You go first. I want to see what there is.
All right. The code in the Matrix comes from what food recipe? A. Sushi. B. Dumplings. C. Stir fry. Or D. Pad Thai.
Oh my god! What was A again?
Sushi.
I won't say that.
You're right.
Wow. All right, for you. Mine are multiple choice, but I can make it multiple choice for you.
You don't have to.
All right. South Park takes place in what state?
Colorado?
Yep. I was hoping you'd get that.
I've seen it
Well,
off and on. Let's see. Who actually drew the sketch of Rose in Titanic?
Who actually drew, like in real life? Who drew it?
Yes.
What the hell?
I can give you a multiple choice if you want.
Please.
Okay. Was it Leonardo DiCaprio, Bill Zane, Kathy Bates, or James Cameron?
What was the second one?
Billy Zane.
I forget. Is Kathy Bates actually in the movie? Damn. I would have recognized her. I'm gonna say, you know what? No, I don't think it was Leo because I don't think he's talented in that way. And then James Cameron is the director of it. He might be that talented. Then Zane is the kind of the enemy, I think, in that movie for Leonardo, I guess. And then Kathy Bates, I don't remember her as any, in that movie, but she had to be. Zane, I'm gonna say B.
You're thinking Billy Zane?
Yeah,
It was actually James Cameron.
it was D. Oh, the director of it. That's talent. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So my question is, and it's 1-1. Your second one is, what current TV show is the longest running live action primetime show ever? So it's not a live show, but it has to do with like outside in the world type of show.
Saturday Night Live?
No, Law and Order SVU.
Oh, ripped from the headlines.
And dude, somebody mentioned that too. Was like, oh yeah, it's been on since like the year 2000 or 2, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, because they had the first one, then what? SVU, and
then what's the other one? I forgot.
I think there were like 3 of them. I can't remember.
I only know the 2, like the regular one, like you mentioned, and SVU. But that's been on forever now that I know.
Okay. Who voices Joy in Pixar? Okay, I won't do Let me see. Which country does Forrest Gump travel to as part of the All-American ping pong team?
The USSR.
What country?
Russia.
You sure?
Or is it Japan? No.
You want me to give you the choices?
No, well, let me see. Is one of them China?
Yes,
I'm gonna say China.
it's China.
Yeah, because I remember like the red flag, and he's playing against a Chinese dude, I think, in that movie.
I joined a ping pong team.
Oh my god, that's awesome! You know, I like that movie too.
It's good, yeah.
I always like Tom Hanks. All right, your question: who was Bart Simpson's teacher? Think of like a green green outfit.
Yeah.
I think a yellow or a beige undershirt, red hair, I think, or brown hair.
Right.
Always with Principal Skinner.
I know it starts with an L, but I can't remember.
I could give you some clues. I mean, I'll give you was it a multiple choice?
Okay.
All right, so Principal or was it? Yeah, Skinner is letter A. B is Wooly. C is Mrs. Crappable. Pernapable. I can't remember her name, but and then D would be Super Lieutenant Davidson.
I'm going with Cornuple or whatever that.
Yeah. I haven't seen the show in years, but that's like one of the main characters.
Either, but I think the one of the choices, Willie, wasn't that like the
janitor?
pirate? Oh yeah.
That's why I made those up right from the dome. I was like, I remember the principal, I remember the janitor. I can't remember who was the school superintendent, but remember Principal Skinner would always get like nervous when he would come around and always yell his name, Skinner!
Yeah.
All right, so we're tied at 2.
I haven't seen that show in a while.
Me neither.
Let's see.
Let's do 2 more.
Okay.
Unless we tie, then we go to a tiebreaker.
Okay. Which is not the name of a child selected to tour the Wonka factory in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Whoa.
Do you want choices?
So wait. Which child was not?
Yeah.
To tour.
Right.
The hell? Didn't they all get tickets though?
Apparently not. I don't know.
Okay, so let me hear the name. Yeah.
You got Vicura Salt, Billy Rapp, Mike TV, or Charlie Bucket.
Okay, I'm gonna say the first one because it sounds like a rock band. So I'm gonna say the first one did not.
Verka Salt?
Yeah.
It was Billy Rapp.
Billy Rapp. Okay. See, I thought they all got. I have to rewatch it. Okay. Because remember, they all like randomly, bought candy and like, oh my god, I got a ticket and whatever, and then.
Right.
Huh? Whatever. Okay. All right. So in the Jeffersons theme song from the TV show, where were they moving on up to?
To the east side.
Any more?
Okay. No.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
It's to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Oh yeah.
But I'll give you that. So you lead 3-2, and if I don't get this right, I lose. You win.
Let's see. Okay.
Oh no, there'd be one more after this for me. Yeah, there'd be one more. But if you get your next one, you win.
Uh-huh.
So best out of 5.
Who did a cat in the classic movie The Godfather belong to?
The Godfather. What's his damn name?
Do you want
Yeah,
choice?
yeah.
Okay. Francis Ford Coppola, Diane Keaton, Al Pacino, or no one?
Oh God, these are tough because I'm just thinking, oh, it's that character, the actual Godfather. But they're asking like, who the hell cat is it in real life? I'm gonna say Al Pacino's.
No one. The cat was a stray.
That's what I was gonna say. Damn stray. All right. So if you get this, you win the game. All right. So in the show Full House, Danny Tanner and Aunt Becky worked together on what show? Was it Good Evening San Francisco, Good Morning San Francisco, Good Afternoon San Francisco, or San Francisco at Large?
Was it Good Morning San Francisco?
You got it.
I haven't seen that in forever either.
Yeah, but it's funny. I remember all, like, I could say when it starts to come on with so many shows, I could be like, oh, okay, this is the episode when this happens and that happens, and then I don't need to watch it because I remember it.
Right.
Wow. So we got through a lot. You must have had the most difficult questions there ever was.
I just found movie questions and then they popped up. So it's like, okay, we'll try this out.
That's amazing. It's like stuff I don't even need to know anymore. But it's stuff I need to. Obviously, I don't know anything. But I bet Randy, if we ask him, if you don't watch this Dragon Viper, we got to see if he does. If not, we got to quiz him on those.
Yeah, I'll get the same questions, and we can use the same questions and see how he does.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that. By the way, there will be a program announcement here. So Colin McClurg has told us that the Immaculate Grid for sports, again, Google that if you don't know what that is, folks, will start around an hour or less from right now live here on Facebook and YouTube on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. So a new show coming out. It's really fun. Again, you got to know your players from the past or present and the teams that they played on for sports. You're going to love it if you're someone like me and someone like Chris and Big B and Christy and Callan, the whole network. You're going to like it.
And if you don't, or not quite sure, you don't know or something, it kind of gives you something to know, I guess.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to the final thoughts. We'll get the hell out of here. Damn, we had hour 30 show. That was because I couldn't name the shows at the beginning of the show. Anyway, final thoughts. Hey, thank you for watching Entertainment Hour. Again, join us for Immaculate Grid. What's your final thoughts, Chris?
No, it's a fun show. You had to talk different movies and entertainment topics. Check out Immaculate Grid coming up here shortly, and we're gonna have some fun with sports.
Morning tailgate on Sunday morning to get you ready for the NFL action as well.
New quarterback in Cleveland.
Joe Flacco. My God.
Okay, you're not a new quarterback. A new quarterback for the team.
Yeah, we'll see if he's on the Immaculate Grid yet.
Maybe.
So the thing is, basically, guys, if someone played for the Browns or the Ravens, you can say Joe Flacco, or the Broncos, the Jets. Joe Flacco. Boom.
Or you could go Cleveland Browns Super Bowl MVP.
None.
Well,
that they played for him, but they didn't actually win it
Right.
with them. Yeah,
Like
I can
they're a
see
Super
that.
Bowl MVP or Super Bowl champ, and they played for this team.
That just sounds like a dream movie that'll never happen. We'll get out of here on that. Thank you, folks, for watching Entertainment Hour with me and Crispy Bacon. You take care, folks out there, and go watch a movie. Bye, folks.